Big news for Alibaba investors as well as for everybody invested in Chinese equities, at least in my opinion. We are now going through a bit of news which is related to Alibaba stock. However, I think it will have implications for the whole sector, for all of the Chinese equities, and I'm going to explain why. So here we got it. It's actually, I retweeted that one on X, and it's about a tremendous news for Alibaba that SoftBank's prepaid forward contract has been settled between October 2021 and January 2024. So SoftBank made public that they will divest from their holdings in Alibaba, and you need to know that Alibaba was a huge important deal for SoftBank in, I think, in the 2000s. They probably invested around 25% in the company, or got 25% of the company, and they only invested millions, but definitely made billions on this huge deal. What is possibly a problem for them is that they didn't manage to sell it all off during the peak or the top of the stock here, but what matters for us here, being invested in Chinese equities or maybe even Alibaba, and by the way, just some disclosure, I personally don't hold any Alibaba shares. I'm not invested in a company. I'm occasionally maybe trading it, but so far it's not a company that I really want to get invested in, but that's another topic. Still, I do think that the company, just looking at the fundamentals, is quite interesting in terms of how it's valued. And the topic here is that, the exit of SoftBank being known to investors is a huge deal, because it's not easy to divest from such a large mega cap in such a big ownership. And that basically meant, I think, there was lots of front running, and this was creating lots of sell pressure on Alibaba's stock. And now we got the news that SoftBank basically has concluded this sell-off. So not only this forward contract, there are some certain ways of playing options and stuff like that in order to sell this off, but also in general, the company has announced that they are not going to buy or sell any new Alibaba shares. So basically, this is a done deal. This is over. And I think that will remove lots of overhead for Alibaba. And, of course, the share price is now depressed. It's really an ugly chart, and you wouldn't have guessed so that a large, important company like that can sink so low in valuation. However, this was, of course, also a big deal for the whole hedge fund community and investors globally watching this unwind happening. And fun fact, SoftBank was also one of those major players pushing Didi, the Chinese ride-hailing company, for IPO, and kind of, jumping over some regulators' concerns, which in the beginning also led to these crackdowns by regulators on overseas listed companies, if you remember 2021. So lots of things are coming together here. SoftBank being one part of this venture capital scene and a huge backer of Chinese internet companies, and then starting to selling out 2021, also being part of this Didi action. And so long story short, they have managed to divest it, and why I think this will have an implication actually on the whole sector is, in my opinion, because Alibaba has been a huge component of ETFs or indices that are focused on China. So that means the shares make up a large component in those baskets, in those indices, tracking them. And that means, like, if there's lots of downward pressure because a huge shareholder wants to get out and people are front running it, or there's not enough buyers to take all of these shares, then of course this also creates downward pressure on the indices and the ETFs and so on. And, this kind of creates this vicious cycle. It's easy to short those indices. It's maybe go short KWEB or, some of the other China-specific ETFs or indices or funds. and thereby creating actually pressure on the entire sector. Basically, every China name possibly will have some implications of this SoftBank deal here. And now that this is over, at least we could suspect that there will be less selling pressure. But on a positive note, it may actually go even so far that people who were interested in buying Alibaba, obviously they knew that SoftBank wants to get out, possibly have also been waiting for this moment now to get in at the lowest price, right? And so that could lead to the fact that people might start picking up Alibaba. This might create even buying pressure for the whole indices, like, just the other way around. This could now become a catalyst. And we know also from the positive side here that also Jack Ma and Joe Tsai have started to picking up 200 million worth of company shares. Obviously, they have a little bit more insight into possibly also what SoftBank is doing and Alibaba as a company. And with this trade, they're sending the signal that they think the company is undervalued. And so this could really result in some sort of a momentum if we're lucky. Who knows? I mean, there's not much luck recently in for Chinese equity investors generally. But if you look here at the daily chart here, we're actually trading above a little bit of the support of the SMA 20 here and are at important downward trend lines here. So very close to a potential breakout, which could take, in my opinion, Alibaba stock up to the SMA 200, which would be around 85 USD. If it's managing to break out of this trading pattern here based on this type of news and catalysts. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I'm just saying that the implications here might not only be on Alibaba, but if so, on the whole China sector. And therefore, I think this is a potential big news for us investors also in other stocks like NIO or even smaller Chinese caps and so on. So let me know what you think about it. Are you invested in Alibaba? And do you agree with me that this will take away some of the selling pressure and might be a stock catalyst going forward? Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.